What is up, boppers? We have Window with us today.
Hi.
Dude, I can't believe you haven't been here.
Yeah, no, this is my first time to your house. It's like so cute. Yeah.
Thank you.
I want to come here more. We should hang out more.
We should hang out more. That's secretly why I scheduled this in. Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So I'm Window. I'm like an experimental pop artist. I do music, I do theater productions, I do scoring, and what else do I do? I do education. I'm an educator in the city of Memphis. I am a programmer, developer, researcher, and I love learning things. So that's like a big part of like why I got into music, is so I could just like learn more about something that I felt like so passionate about. Like I really I love music forever. And then I was like, wait, like when the pandemic hit, I was just like, I can just like use this time to really dive into like how to actually like learn more about music through making music. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So your page describes your music as hyper emo.
Yes. Yeah. So that's kind of, I don't know, like I used to use that moniker a lot. I feel like my music is less emo now, so I've like steered away from the hyper emo stuff, but I still do have like hyper emo parts of me. Um, so hyper emo basically means like you have emo music and you have like all the different waves of emo music. And then like it's a whole conversation and controversy over like the fifth wave emo situation, if that's a thing, if that can even like be a thing. And so I'm like, okay, fuck it. I'm just gonna like explicitly make a new subgenre of emo called hyper emo. And that's just like, okay, we're emo. We got emo, but let's take it to its logical extreme. And that's what I try to do with my music. And that's why I like break down on stage sometimes and just start like crying and like hitting the floor. Yeah, that's what hyper emo means to me.
What drove you to the like electronic world?
What drove me to the electronic world? It was just something that I mean, it's how I started out making music. So, what a lot of people don't know is that I started, so yeah, like I said all that stuff about making music because I wanted to learn more about music, but also like I had that inkling, but my first DAW, or like the first thing that I started making music on, was actually VCV Rack. And that is a modular synthesis software that my so basically like I met up with like right before the pandemic like hit. I met up with a mentor of mine, and I was like talking about wanting to make music, and he was like a whole professor person, but um and he like recommended me VCV Rack because I started out at the time I was like studying electrical engineering. um and so like that specific software really blended like all the stuff I knew about like electrical engineering, from like voltage to amplifiers to transistors and capacitors and all those things, and that made, and then like translating that through modular synthesis into music was just such like a perfect thing for me to start out with. Yeah.
It's so cool hearing like different people's like processes and intros to music, because
Yeah.
I've never heard somebody describe music in this way before. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I love like that's why electronic music is so interesting to me too, because it's just like frequencies and signals. And so when I was in undergrad, I was studying electrical engineering, but I was also studying cognitive neuroscience. And so I was specifically looking into like the way brains interact with different signals and the way brains like emit different signals. So like when you close your eyes and you relax, you emit your brain like goes on like an alpha wave, and that is a specific kind of signifier that can be that can like trigger different things. And so the way like the brain resonates with different frequencies like in music, so a lot of people of the biggest like frequency range I think is like the bass sounds. So the bass sounds just like when they hit you, you feel like so emotional, and that's why it's because like those frequencies are literally resonating in your brain.
Wow. You study, the effects of like music and emotion. How do you feel, or what is your main emotion when you're
Mm,
producing?
mm, that's a really good question. Uh if lock in was an emotion, that would be the emotion. No, but like sometimes it's lock in, but sometimes it's like, oh, I'm just like fucking around, seeing what happens. And that's so yeah, so how I've been describing it to a lot of people is there's like two different processes that I make music in and two different kind of like emotional states that I'm in. So with like beat production, it's really like lock in or playing around or just kind of like making stuff up on the fly. Um or no, not really making stuff up on the fly, but like really kind of like methodically looking into like what parts I want to go where. Whereas songwriting, my process is like my process so far has been purely emotional. So it's so sometimes I just like get in states where I just like cannot like fully like understand what like I'm doing with myself. And when I like acknowledge I'm in those states, I just start writing and I try to let like my emotions like be a conduit like through my body and through my brain and come out with like songs on the other side. So yeah, two different kind of processes and I'm trying to blend them a lot more. And what happens is I basically like have all these song lyrics, these things that have just emotionally spewed out of me. And then I have the beats that I just kind of like cognizantly put together and I just like smash the two together.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And this is about you,
Okay.
but you do have a partner that makes music,
Yes.
Suroor.
Yes. Yeah.
What is that like?
Oh, it's really inspiring. Yeah, Suroor is such an inspiration to me and like being able to be like so close to her and being able to see like all the kind of processes she has in making music and how she goes about like promoting her music and like mastering her music and just all this stuff and seeing her like her pure like work ethic. It's just so admirable and it makes me want to be like a better musician too. And so it's just like a really positive environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like working with someone that you like love who also understands you on a like sonic level?
Mhm.
Does that push your art to like
Mm.
be better?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so because she yeah, recently she's kind of like pinpointed like places where I need to kind of like study more and grow and like focus on. So for example, like making sure like a key of a sample matches the key of the song, which is like something that sounds obvious kind of, but it's a little like it's a little difficult to kind of maneuver. And so that's something that I've been really working on and is just like listening to tonalities and trying to match that up with the entire like soundscape of a song.
Mm.
And so that's just one example of something that she's like really helped me on to make like to help like push me to make my music better. Yeah, I think like one of my favorite things about our relationship is that we're so compatible, but we're also so different.
Mm.
And in those differences, we like push each other to grow. And like I that is like one of the main things I look for in a partner is like how can not necessarily like how can I benefit out of this, but like how can we like grow and change and create something like better from ourselves outside of ourselves.
Yeah. I think too, just being seen like the way you want to be seen and like
Mm,
being validated in that way. I feel like
mhm.
for me, it just pushes me to like fully push the authenticity and the vulnerability because it's like,
Yeah.
oh know they get it and I love them. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And especially like seeing her being like at the status she is, and then also like hearing that like I mean, yeah, that she like likes my music and likes where I'm going with it, and sees me like fully, and like wants me to like push my authenticity to the biggest extreme and just kind of see me blossom just like means the world, because like the fact that she sees like that potential in me, and not just that potential but that like reality in me, yeah, it means the world.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys have a label
And
together.
we have a label together.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. What was the moment, or like when did you get that feeling that Purgatory Pressings needed to exist in life?
Yeah, so this was right after my old label failed. So I was working with another collaborator, and she just like gave me a call one day and was like, "Hey, I'm dissolving the label." And I was like, "Okay." And then like I sat on it for like a day or two, and then I was like staring at the ceiling, and I was just like running my mind through like what I could do about this, like if I wanted to like make my own label, if I had like the capacity to do that, if I could do that on my own. And then like I just like thought of Suroor, and again staring at the ceiling, my mind was like racing, running through names, and I thought of Purgatory Pressings, and I was like, "Oh my god, I have to do this." And I was really manic at the time. And I wanted like and I started off like Purgatory being like a full on like artist collective situation, and never like quite followed through with a lot of the ideas that I had initially, but still like I'm really happy with where it is right now. And Suroor has been just like an amazing collaborator on that project, and she's like really just been hitting the ground running with getting like artists that we push out on cassette, because we're also a tape label. So yeah, we distribute people's music on cassette, and then we also run events in the city. So she's been just like A1 at making those events happen, making these collaborations happen. And she just like puts a fire under me to make sure that um everything just kind of like goes where it needs to go.
Yeah. What's something that Purgatory Pressings does that you feel like other labels don't do or
Mm.
should be doing more?
Basically, one thing that I think Purgatory is doing that these labels like literally like died because of, um we are being careful and picky and particular about the like the work we accept, and make sure we have the capacity to actually like put out these tapes and get these tapes to people. And another thing too is that like Suroor like is always like touring around the country. So another thing we do is we like hand deliver these like cassettes instead of mailing them. We did have a situation with like mailing cassettes. It was our first time mailing it, and it didn't end up how we wanted it to. um, but uh yeah, we worked it out with the artist, but I think like hand delivering tapes is like if you can do it, do it. Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
What are you most proud of about your work?
Ooh. It's hard. I don't know. I don't think of I don't reflect like that often. This is awesome though, because it's like getting me to like reflect on my music career. Okay. Yeah. What I'm most proud of honestly is the like experimental theater stuff. Um I think it's so like different and cool, and not a lot of people are doing it, and I like wish more people were doing it, of having like um just kind of like scores, and like putting on like an entire like theatrical like accompaniment with your own score, and kind of like innovating on theater in like the 2020s, I think is the thing that I'm most proud of with my music. Yeah, specifically the Samuel Beckett Not I production, and we have a great video of it. It was at Black Lodge. It's on YouTube. That yeah, I'm most proud of that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on your upcoming new work, you are using a lot more stringed instruments, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So I've been like trying to play guitar since I was maybe like 14 or 15. My mom got like a home shopping network guitar for me, and I and like a bunch of like how to DVDs. I never watched the DVDs, and I barely touched the guitar until I was like a senior in high school. Then I started like working on some stuff, and my first song I ever wrote was on guitar, and it's called Shepherd's Son. It's an Ed and Eddie fan album or single about Rolf. Yeah. And so that was the first time I ever like actually fully like wrote something on guitar and played it and recorded it, and I recorded it on my phone. It's like the first thing that's on, or it's like the very first thing that was like put on my SoundCloud in 2016. And and then I didn't make music at all until like 2020. So it was a good like 4 year gap between me like fucking around and then actually like realizing, oh shit, like this is something like I want to be doing. Um and then since then, like recently I've like picked it back up, and I've been making some more songs with guitar, and I love my DAW. Gotta give a shout out to Logic. Logic is what I've been kind of like reaching for a really long time, because like yeah, I started with VCV Rack, and then I started just fucking around on my iPad with GarageBand because that was like what I had. And then I elevated to Ableton, and then I was like, okay, Ableton's great, but like I just want GarageBand. I just want like super GarageBand Plus, and that's Logic. Gotta give a shout out to Logic, and like all the effects and amps and all that stuff that you can just like play your guitar straight through your DI box and then hear how it sounds with the effects. It's so helpful, and it's so like immediate.
I also love your live performances. So
Yay!
fun.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see you on People's Pride.
I'm not playing People's
You're
Pride.
not?
No.
Why?
Uh, I'm just not. I just didn't feel like it. I wanted to like kind of just like rest up before tour.
Damn. Well, I'm still excited for people.
Yeah, People's Pride is gonna be awesome, but I'm not playing People's Pride.
But
Um,
you'll be
but
there.
I'll be there. I'll totally be there. I'll be there, like helping, like organize and like run the
Yeah.
show. Yeah.
Let's talk about it. That's a crazy good lineup that y'all have.
Yes, so excited. Yeah, all the artists on there are just like some of my favorites in the city. Um, and I'm just so excited for the event.
Yeah.
It's gonna be amazing.
What do you feel like People's Pride is doing that's different than regular Pride or something that people should know?
Yeah, no cops, no Zionists, no corporations. We've had a lot of problems with Mid-South Pride in the past being like, I mean, yeah, like obviously like having cops on the lineup, having um weird like Zionist policies and tendencies with the people like boothing at pride, and we're just like sick of it and not going to have that, and are just creating an entire alternative to it. And this is like a movement happening like all over the country. Suroor is playing Kansas City's People Pride, and that's going to be like a super cool and fun event. And yeah, we're really excited to be hosting Memphis's first like alternative to pride in that capacity.
Dude, how does it feel to be like a community leader for something like that?
Oh.
Seriously.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels really organic. Honestly, like I don't know, like, I'm so hesitant to call myself, like, a community leader, community organizer because, I just feel like I don't know, I feel like I don't do, like, enough to deserve those labels, but, um, yeah, I mean, I'm just like, I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl. Um, but how does it feel to be a community leader in this capacity? I feel really honored to do it. And I feel really lucky that I have such like a huge community that wants to see these things happen and that like will hopefully show up for this to happen. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited, and I'm really excited for your upcoming album.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm releasing an album September 12th. It's gonna be a killer. Lots of fun sounds and lots of fun features and lots of fun um ideas. Yeah.
Yay.
Yay. Yeah.
And we're going to have some fun rollout with that.
Yes, it's gonna be amazing. And then so yeah, the album's coming out September 12th, and then I'm having a little like Bandcamp, SoundCloud exclusive remix EP with some also really cool and fun features on that. So look out for that.
Yay. And I'm honored that you came here.
Aw, aw, thank you.
Hope to have
Yeah.
you back again soon.
Absolutely, yeah. No, that'll be so this was awesome, and I'm
Yeah.
so excited for what you're doing. Like I always whenever like I tour, I always like brag about how Memphis like finally has like music journalism.
Aw.
Like actual like music journalism that is really looking for what's like happening on the ground in the Memphis scene, both like underground and like um I guess more what's the opposite of underground? I don't know. More
Mainstream.
mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, just like a group that is looking at both those streams and, just like promotes what's going on in the city. And
Yeah.
so I feel so lucky to have you guys in the city.
Aw.
Yeah, it's like it's such a breath of fresh air because before you guys came on the scene, I was always complaining. I was like, Memphis doesn't have music journalism. That's what's wrong with this city. That's why no one's like paying attention to what's happening on the ground in the city. Um,
Yeah.
but I also do have to give a shout out to Memphis Concrete and Robert Traxler. So Memphis Concrete Festival is happening very, very soon. And they were also like one of the first really big kind of like promoters of the kind of music that I do. Like my first ever, well, my first like festival set for Memphis Concrete was like my second show ever. And my first show ever actually was also a festival set at Black Lodge with, hear me out, with Lipstick Stains, Black Hippie, Jordan Occasionally, Moth Cat, um Bio Girl, Virtual Body, me, and a bunch of like drag performers.
No pressure.
Yeah, I was like, what's happening? I was like, what's happening?
It's so cool.
And that was my first show ever on Black Lodge stage. Like I think there's videos of it. There's definitely videos of the virtual body performance. Which is also, I guess, another thing to shout out. I'm also in a band called Virtual Body with Brooke Levier. Um, she's in Alaska right now doing very fun things. I had a call with her earlier. Um, Working on a really cool album that's about to come out too. But really cool things happening in Memphis with music,
Yeah.
with the community. It's
Yeah.
great.
I also have to shout out just everybody. I feel like there's just such a willingness for artists right now of like, I'm going to put myself out there and I'm really going to commit to being creative and, putting my time and energy into my skill sets. And so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think there's a really good give and take right now in this city of like, I think people want to go out and support stuff right now and like
Yeah.
have some sense of like positivity around this city, because there are so many great things happening and so much talent, you
Yeah,
know?
so much talent in the city. It's crazy. And I feel like Memphis is just such a special spot for music to be like spawning out of right now too. You've got like amazing labels like Unapologetic, really just like again hitting the ground running with just an amazing array of artists and promoting so much talent in the city and doing really cool events like the um oh Midnight Marauder. Yeah, Midnight Marauder is such a really cool event. It's just for like it's not just for producers, but it's for like musicians and really highlights producers and people that make beats rather than do songwriting with the beats and just have like a platform for people to really like share their beats to a whole audience of people. And it's a really, really cool event. If you haven't been to one, I would definitely check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. And it's at Mosh, right?
It's at Mosh, yeah. Mosh is also just like an amazing space. Mosh has so many amazing spaces.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
We're out.
Bye.